Hey there, I wanted to kind of document something kind of strange had happened. So I'm going to start last week. I'm recording this on Wednesday, April the 7th, 2021. So last week, and the reason I started last week, a lot of things in my life seem to have foreshadowing. And I think it happens to everybody. We just a lot of times aren't aware of it. So seemingly random events will happen. And then later on, they'll start to kind of make sense as we look back at them retroactively. So last week I had a conversation with someone. They said that spirit seems to wake us up at like 3 o'clock in the morning with messages. We were kind of joking about how spirit wakes us up in the middle of the night. And I said, no, correction, it's 4 o'clock. So that was the first conversation I had. I was joking because I seem to get a lot of downloads, inspirations about 4 o'clock in the morning. I'll be awakened and I cannot get back to sleep because I've got all these ideas running through my head. The other thing that happened last week, there was just a meme on Facebook, random meme, and it was about rich people's showers and how these showers a lot of times are open. They have no doors on them. They've got multiple shower heads, or they've got waterfalls or whatever. And I had made the comment that when our contractor put in our shower and when we remodeled our bathroom, he wanted to leave it open, to not put a door on it. He said it would save us money or something. And I said, no, I live in Ohio. It's cold. I would rather have the shower closed. So I wanted the shower door put on it. So we did put a door on it. So these were the two conversations that I had last week that didn't relate to each other whatsoever and didn't seem to have any real significance. So fast forward to 4 o'clock in the morning on Monday. I'm lying in bed. I'm asleep. I'm in the middle of a dream, a pretty peaceful dream, I think. And I hear this huge crash. I mean, just like tremendous loud crashing sound. And I had no idea what it was. I'm startled. I jump, kind of wake in bed, and I look over, and my wife is still asleep. So I'm thinking, well, it must not have been, and must not have been in the real world, must have been in my dream because it didn't wake her up. So I'm trying to get back to sleep, and I'm lying there, and I hear this noise coming from our bathroom. And it sounds like, all I could think of at the time, it sounded like a pipe at burst because it sounded like water was spraying or something. And so I'm like, okay, there's something going on in the bathroom. I heard this crash, maybe a pipe burst, but pipes, they're not under high pressure in your house, and they don't typically burst and make a lot of noise. And so I didn't know what was going on, but I thought I need to go check it out. So I get out of bed, I open up the bathroom door, and there is glass all over the bathroom. I mean, literally spread from one end to the other. The shower door had exploded. And that was a sound that I heard. And if you've ever broken like that type of tempered glass, it kind of spiders out and it makes this cracking noise, kind of like the ice on a lake when it starts to warm up and starts to melt, I guess. Um, so this noise went on for probably 5 or 10 minutes after the door exploded, as all the pieces were breaking into even smaller pieces. So that's the noise I was hearing from my bed. So obviously, I got a big cleanup to do now. So I'm cleaning this thing up. And I was thinking about how I had gotten up, the thing at 4 o'clock in the morning. When I looked at the clock when I woke up, after I heard the noise, when I finally looked at the clock, it was 4:01. It was right after 4 o'clock. So I'm thinking, isn't this interesting? This conversation about spirit communicating to us at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had a conversation about the shower door and how I wanted the shower door, but it wasn't, the contractor tried to talk me out of it. So the conversation about the shower door, and then the shower door a few days later explodes at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I thought, well, this would be an interesting experiment. I have a lot of friends who are mediums, a lot of friends who are intuitive. So I thought, first of all, I wonder if this might be a message from spirit. There might be some significance. So I wondered about that. And I thought, could somebody pick up on this? Now, this is a very unusual event. A lot of times people in the spirit world will communicate to us by turning on lights, by, electronic things, the TV coming on and off, smoke alarms going off, things of that nature. I don't typically think of things like something exploding like the shower door did. But I thought let's put this out there and see what will happen. So I put out a Facebook post and I tagged a bunch of mediums that I know, some kind of celebrities, some not so well known. So I tagged them all and said, something happened at 4 o'clock in the morning. Can anybody tell me what happened, if there's any significance to it? Now, frankly, most of the mediums I know that I tagged are very, very busy. A lot of them are not on Facebook much. So nobody responded. So I gave it a day and nobody responded. Few people that are some of my friends who are intuitive, they made some guesses, and frankly, none of the guesses were very good, or they were guesses. I could tell they were guesses. And that's okay. That's fine, because this is like a very unusual thing. So I have a friend, her name is Carolyn Clapper. She's a medium. She is fantastic, one of the best mediums I know. And I know she's not on Facebook much these days. She's going through some personal things. So she's not on Facebook much these days. And I decided to reach out to her by text. And we don't really ever text that much. We talk through Facebook, we talk on the phone or whatever. So I sent her a text and I said, I realized she probably hadn't seen what I had posted. And so I said, something happened, and, do you have any ideas of what's going on? So think about Carolyn, and I kind of smile as I say this. I don't think I've ever had a conversation with her that's less than an hour. Carolyn is not a linear point A to point B person. So our conversations are kind of like all over the place. So it's this conversation. I really wish I could have documented it better, but it just can't happen with Carolyn. She gave me a fantastic reading a few years ago, the first reading she ever did for me. And she'd asked me not to record it. And it's the best reading I've had ever by far. But unfortunately, I don't have it recorded. So she and I start texting back and forth, and she says, first of all, she got a couple of things. She was like, these are just, again, these are random, not connected to this. But she said, is someone getting her? She goes, yay, a baby's coming. There's a baby coming. And I'm like, well, that would be a miracle. And she says, no, not you. And I said, okay. And she said, I think it's a cousin. So it's interesting. My nephew, which is Shayna's cousin, his wife is due in a few days. So my mind immediately goes to Nicholas and his baby that's coming in a few days or a few weeks. And she goes, no, your uncle is coming in. My uncle just passed away a few weeks ago. And she said, your uncle's coming in. It's connected to your uncle. And then I realized that his daughter, my cousin Mila, is also due in a few days or a few weeks. And this is her first child. So Carolyn gets this. So then she starts asking me about my house, because Carolyn can kind of see what's going on in your house when you're talking to her. It's weird. So she's asked me about the way our house is laid out. She says, do you have like a big hallway? And I said, yeah, we do. We have a foyer as you come in. She said, is there a big picture hanging above the stairs? And I said, yes, there is. She said, well, Shayna's been trying to move that. She's trying to tilt that. She says, is there another big picture at the top of the stairs? There is. There's another big picture of Shayna at the top of the stairs. Now, this is interesting because she's talking about the layout of my house, and she's talking about where the family or the living room is in relation to the stairs, where my bedroom is in relation to the stairs. And everything she's saying is kind of backwards. So it was weird. She was saying things backwards. She would say left and it was right. She'd say right and it was left. But it was consistent. So she was apparently saying things kind of in reverse. Just a little aside. So just like, do you have a bathroom off of your bedroom? And I said, yeah, we do. And I realized a lot of people do, but a lot of people that live in older houses don't a lot of times. So yeah, like we do have a bathroom off of our bedroom. And she said, Shayna's taking me to the bathroom and she's showing me there's a double sink, and we have a double sink, and she's showing me two mirrors, and we have two mirrors, one over each sink. And she's standing in the first mirror and she's looking at it. She's showing me herself in the mirror, and she's showing me the mirror cracking. And when Carolyn later explained to me, she asked Shayna, did she crack the mirror? And Shayna said no. So then she asked me if we have a toilet, that's in the, and I said, yes. She says, there's a shelf above the toilet. And I was like, no. She said, okay, well, I'm getting a feeling of something crashing. I'm getting the feeling of water. And she said, so I'm thinking that maybe a shelf fell. And I was like, well, it wasn't really a shelf. She said, did something crash? And I said, yeah, that would be an understatement. There was a big crash. So she goes, I think something crashed. And then she asked me if we had a glass shower. And I said, yes, we have a glass shower. And she said, is it a weird shape, like a custom shape? And it is. Our shower is tile on two sides, the sides that are against the walls. And then it's glass, and it's a huge glass door. It was probably 7 feet tall, I think, at the highest point, and it arcs down. And there's another arc on the other side. It's hard to even describe, but it's custom. And there's two sides that are glass, and there's a half wall that's tile. So Carolyn's describing the way the shower looks. She's like, it's a custom shower. It's got a weird, shaped door. There's a metal handle on the door, and we have this big kind of fancy metal handle that went through the door, actually. So she said, Shayna's showing me the shower. She said she's trying to turn on the water. She's trying to, I think she said, turn on lights. She says, now I see her in the shower and she's just spinning around and she's spinning and her head's back. She's spinning as fast as she can. She's like saying, I'm free or something. And meanwhile, Carolyn's also interspersing this with stuff about my dog and other conversations. She also tells me a story about a light bulb that exploded in her bathroom. I guess it was last week. And she said this light bulb exploded in the bathroom. So when she said that, my mind went to exploding glass. And again, we're talking about the bathroom. The other thing that's really weird, okay, two things I forgot to say. When she said that, we have two smart bulbs in our bedroom that are text or Alexa. They both stopped working simultaneously last week, and I cannot get them to connect to the Alexa anymore. They still come on, but they just won't connect they won't connect smart bulb anymore. So I'm having to replace those. So that was an interesting coincidence. The other thing is, as the glass was breaking, this is going back, not being linear. I had a fish tank I had to throw out last week, and it had a tempered glass bottom, and I hit it with a sledgehammer, and it just did that ripple, that crackle thing, which again happened with the shower door, and I just threw that out last week. So the garbage people probably wondering what's with this guy and all the broken glass. So anyway, back to what Carolyn was saying. So she said, Shayna's spinning around and spinning around and spinning around. She said, did she hit something? Do you have a shelf in your shower? And I said, yes, we have a shelf. And she said, do you have shampoo bottles and stuff on the shelf? We do. We have shampoo bottles on the shelf. It's a built-in shelf. So she thought the shampoo bottles might have been knocked off. And actually, ironically, about the only thing that wasn't knocked off. When this shower door came down, the crash was so hard that we have a tile floor. It chipped the tile floor in two places. And then we have cleaning products that were in the bottom of the shower. Those were all knocked over. So she says, she said, I'm getting like the feeling of like a tornado, just like a tornado went through there. So this is what she kind of put together. So it was, the glass cracking the mirror, which Shayna showed her that, but she said, no, I did not break the mirror. A pipe exploding or water being turned on. And Carol asked her if she'd exploded a pipe or water turned on. And she said, no. But the thing is, the sound I heard sounded like water. It was the shower, which was glass, which is also associated with water, of course. And Carolyn said Shayna basically led her like up the stairs, which goes to our bedroom, through the bedroom, into our bathroom, showed her the mirror, showed her the shower, showed her what the shower looked like. So Carolyn got it. Now, the thing is funny about Carolyn is she would not take credit. She said, Shayna told me exactly what happened. I wanted to say exactly what happened, but I wasn't listening to her. Now, Carolyn, I want to protect her privacy, but she's got some personal issues going on, some family, some friends that are sick and stuff. So that's why she hadn't gotten back to me. And she had a reading coming up. So she was like all over the place. Plus, she just woken up. But she told me when she woke up, Shayna was sitting on her bed. Shayna comes to her when Shayna wants to give her a message, and Shayna will just hang around until Carolyn acknowledges her. So when she woke up on Tuesday, Shayna was sitting on her bed, I guess, saying, you need to get back to my father. And as Carolyn's going through all these rabbit trails that we go down, it's funny. She said, Shayna's now got her arms folded. She's saying, now you need to get back to me. So my experiment, I would say, was a huge success, and this is a thing that's interesting to me. I had that conversation about 4:00 in the morning, a couple of weeks or last week. I had the conversation about the shower door. And when the shower door exploded at 4:00 in the morning the next week, I thought there might be some significance to it. So I decided to put it out there. And I thought this would be a really interesting experiment. As I said, I'm sorry I couldn't document more of it. I do have some of the text that Carol and I sent back and forth, but then Carolyn got so excited and it was so complicated that she called me on the phone. So a lot of it was a phone conversation that I didn't, unfortunately, have recorded. I did record a little piece at the end, but I didn't get her permission, so I'm not going to put it out publicly. But I know she would want me to have it to play to my wife because she really likes to share this stuff with Ty, so I'll share that with her. But I just wanted to let you guys know that this stuff is very real. I was going to say nothing in our life that happens is random. I don't know if nothing that happens is random, but a lot of stuff that happens in our life isn't random. And look for these instances of like foreshadowing, where something will happen and then something later on will happen that'll be related back to it. And you can see how they kind of tie together. Carolyn said that lately in her readings, people have been telling her things that are going to happen. And she told me some things that are going to happen. And we'll see, if that happens or not. That would be really, really interesting to see how that plays out. So again, just wanted to share that with everybody. It was too complicated to try to type out. I might try to transcribe this for people that want to see it typed out, but Carolyn Clapper, an amazing medium. There are a lot of them out there. Carolyn was the one that happened to get back to me on this. My daughter Shayna is an amazing communicator. Carolyn, like I said, she was saying she thought she let Shayna down because Shayna did a really good job of trying to get across to her, what had happened. And Carolyn did get all the elements of it. So she got everything. I was going to say pretty much everything. She got all the elements of it. So really cool. You guys have a great day.